Just going to look at a couple of ways of fixing up landscape photos and fixing a couple of common faults, but also looking at some ways to improve the composition. So I've already got an image open up here, and you can see the first thing we've got is that the horizon line is angled, so sloping from left to right, which is not ideal. So the easiest way to do that is you can rotate the whole image, but how do you work out what's level? Well, if you've got your rulers visible, there's a really easy way. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you've got your rulers, hit view and make sure rulers are in view. Then you can drag a non-printing guideline out. You can see that line coming down there. So there's that blue line. Now, that's must need to go down a little bit further. And I need to balance that out a bit. That needs to go up a bit, and this needs to come down to make it a little bit closer to accurate. So what I'm going to go to is I'm going to go to image, and I'm going to go to image rotation, but I'm going to click arbitrary. Now, you can see I've been playing around with this before. You can go anti-clockwise or counterclockwise as they do, being American, or clockwise this way. Because I want to take it up this way, I think it's easier for me. I'll leave it at counterclockwise. Now I've selected 0.5 degrees, so half a degree. I could go down to 0.05 or 0.15 or something like that, very little. So you could put quite a bit of control. I'll just hit 0.5 and I'll hit OK. There we go, it's starting to turn it round. That's getting pretty close. I'd like to take it up a little bit more so that this bit here meets the blue line. So I'm going to go image rotation, arbitrary again. I'll leave it at 0.5 counterclockwise and see what happens. And there we go. That looks pretty cool. I'm happy with that. Now I want to get rid of this blue line. So I just click that there and drag it back up into the ruler. Now obviously I've got a bit of a problem here. I've got to crop my image. Now this is where I'm going to go to the next way of doing it. I mean, I could quite easily just use the rectangular marquee tool and select the shape and, I'll do it. I could drag it in like this and then I'll just go to edit. Let's mask it. I could go to image crop, or, indeed to get rid of that, go to this one here, the crop tool. So there it is there. Now, we can see here there's this grid marking. If I click on that, I can click on the rule of thirds, grid, I've got diagonals, golden ratio, different compositional devices. I'm going to stay with the rule of thirds. So once I start to slide it down, you can see there we go. We get those lines of thirds. Now what I want with the rule of thirds, I want my key point of interest to be either on one of these thirds or an intersecting line or so on. I don't want a dead centre in the photo because that just doesn't work for me. So I'm sliding that this way. It's getting good. Now I can then just grab my picture. Oops. Hit edit, undo. I didn't want to do that. Edit, undo, crop. So I'll go back to my rule of thirds again. So click it there. Take that down. Take that up. Now I still want some more sky in that, so I'm going to move it up a bit more. I've got to bring this in here. I can move the whole thing around if I want, like that. That's what I was trying to do before. But if I take it to there, that's putting two of those intersecting lines have key points. My horizon line would be nicer if I can have it down on this lower third. So I can drag this down as close as possible. There we go. And if I hit, go back to up here, there we go. There's my cropped image. It's much better composition. I like the space on that side. This line's leading through here. I've got the horizon line on a third. There, it just works that little bit nicer. It gets a better balance. You'll find that after a while, you actually take photos with this in mind. but that's a good way to clean up your landscape photos. So take a bit of time and explore just the rule of thirds and straightening your horizon line to as a simple way of improving your work.